And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Common Sense, Connecticut Common Sense podcast on Common Sense News and Entertainment, the newly born and bank accounted one. And here I am with Selena Rifkin once again
Hi, everybody.
for yet another edition. We're nearing our 100th episode, I think, pretty soon. Am I correct?
It's coming up.
All
It's coming
right.
up.
We'll have to make a special one out of that one.
Yes.
And but tonight we have a couple things tonight, whatever you want to call it. We have a couple important things to go over,
We
and
can
we're
start
gonna
with something relatively easy, though. We're good.
like MAHA.
Like Maha. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little MAHA update.
Yeah.
MAHA is something, and later on we're gonna talk about the debate coming up. But MAHA is a question that will be asked at the debate. I'm gonna be sure of it
Okay.
about what's going on with making America healthy again, which
What can we do
unfortunately,
about that in Connecticut? Because our farmers are struggling. So that would be a good start. That would be a good thing to ask, is our farmers really are struggling and there are very limited places where people who are raising beef can get their meat processed because the FDA has insane requirements. And
mhm,
honestly, I'm not very pleased with the job that Brooke Rollins, who is running the USDA, is doing. And apparently, the Palantir just took over all of the tracking of the farmers and their product, and that is downright creepy.
yeah,
I'm not happy about that, and it's not the
that part
direction
of this
we're going.
is just part of this thing that they're trying to do, where they're merging all of our data into one place. That
I
part you're
believe it
worried about.
is.
I'm worried
And,
about.
and
Yeah.
Palantir's like they're a big part of that. Yeah, Peter Thiel. And yeah, so this is like we're out of Connecticut, but I don't know how much of this is actually, how much of this is in Connecticut. And we don't have it yet, but this is looks like what they want to do. And in Connecticut, our farmers are struggling. The people
Mhm.
who are, the people who are growing our food here are struggling.
Mhm.
And there is currently, because a lot of the fertilizer actually has been coming from Iran,
Great.
so now there's a fertilizer problem. So stock up on food, people. Might have a chance. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
You just don't know what's coming, and it never hurts. It's like, oh, prepping, prepping. It's like, oh, preppers, they're all crazy. How terrible is it to have enough food put by that maybe don't have to go out in a freaking hurricane already? Maybe
Yeah.
we could avoid the long lines at the grocery store because, there's some horrible storm coming in and everyone's rushing to the grocery store to buy toilet paper and milk. What if you were already stocked up on that?
Right. And what if we weren't dealing with a snowstorm that will take things back for a day or two? What if it's something that could shut things down for
And
six
we
months?
had that. Didn't we just have that experience?
Yeah, we did with the storm.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
I
So,
lost power for 8 days when we had Hurricane.
Andy?
Yeah, Hurricane Sandy. Yeah,
Yeah.
8 days without power. We had our bathtub filled with snow.
Oh, wow.
We
Wow.
kept filling our bathtub with snow for water to just to have, not to drink, but to have.
I remember doing that as a kid. We had an
Uh,
apartment and there was like that was in Pennsylvania. So that was interesting. But
And then really, I lost power for 7 days just the year before that when we had the Halloween storm.
wow. Yeah, well that was a bad one. That was
That was the bad one. That Sandy was
yeah.
bad if you lived on the shore.
Oh
It
yeah.
was
Oh, the show was
devastating
brutal.
for the
My
shore.
husband did a lot of the electrical work,
Yeah.
getting houses repaired.
And we were out of power for over a week. But the Halloween storm was the one that really screwed. I'm a lifelong Connecticut resident, and
Mhm.
that Halloween storm in 2011, I think it was the year before Sandy,
Yep.
was absolutely the worst thing that's ever happened naturally in Connecticut in my lifetime.
That was
And it was because of the way it knocked all the trees down and blocked all the roads.
yeah.
Because what happened was we got a nice
The
storm, heavy.
road blockage was almost worse than anything else.
It
It's
was
one thing.
worse than anything
Yeah.
else. What it was that there were still leaves on the trees to
Yeah.
absorb all the ice, and that's what
Yeah.
caused all the
And it
trees to
made
break.
everything heavy.
We got that in Vermont. Now that's the kind of happens in Vermont all the time.
Hmm. Oh,
So
I
you
we
get a throw.
went, we had in 1998 there was an ice storm in Maine and my house was out of power for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but they up
And it
there, they're used to
wasn't
that
even as
stuff.
long as some people up in, further
You,
north.
you go up to Vermont, everybody's got a pickup truck and a chainsaw.
And maybe a
So
generator.
and it may be a generator. So if they have a storm like that in Vermont, they're used to that. And by the end of that day, the roads are all clear and everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
Connecticut,
they've got technique. There's
we
like
just weren't used to
yeah,
that. We got, in
yeah,
Connecticut, we just weren't prepared for that. So
yeah.
we don't have,
Not so many pickups, not so many
not so
chainsaws.
many chainsaws and roads closed. I remember that day, the day after that storm, I was with some friends and we were trying to go to his aunt's house, which is in the same town in Manchester,
Hmm.
just 3 miles away. And we get off the road, we get onto, I think it was Olcott Street, tree in the way. Oh no, let's go this way. Tree in the way. Oh, let's go this way.
I have
Oh,
so many
tree in the way.
stories like
Let's
that.
go home.
Yeah,
We
there
were
were so
surrounded.
many
We couldn't go
stories
anywhere.
like that.
Yeah,
So
that
anyway,
was
back to
wild.
Maha.
Back to Maha, the food
Back to Maha.
supply. We'll talk. Let's talk about Maha slash food supply.
Yeah, because it's because that matters because healthy real food includes things like beef, and you have to know where it's coming from if you want it to be healthy. And I just signed up. I haven't done this in a long time, but I just signed up through beefshares.com for I'm buying a quarter of a cow. I haven't
Mm,
done this in, I don't know, it might be as much as 10 years since, because I used to
wow.
do this all the time. I'm buying a quarter of a cow.
Yeah.
Might have to get an additional freezer. I have a little fridge down there, but I used to do this all the time. I
Yeah.
did do it every year.
It's probably relatively inexpensive too, versus going to the store and buying it one
It
at a
is,
time, right?
a
They charge like 500
friend of
bucks or something
mine
like
was
that.
complaining about the price of beef, and I think she cited it was like, I don't know, it was like $12 a pound or something like that. 6.50 a pound for grass fed.
Okay.
And you're
For when you
getting,
buy
it's
it
going
by
to
the
be a
quarter
mix.
cow.
It's not going to be all steak. It's a mix of steak and hamburger and various cuts, and you have to know how to
Sure.
cook it, which I do. Um, so I am very good at cooking all this stuff at this point.
Like Dennis Leary used to say,
Hmm.
just take a bite right out of the cow. He used to say.
Easy, easy there, killer.
He's a killer. It's funny. No,
Yeah,
I do like rare meat. Though I don't like it raw, but I like it rare.
yeah, me too.
Like how I am, I guess.
But
But
beef is
I'll
it's
eat it
full
medium
of
rare.
vitamins. It's really good for you.
Real beef, though, not the. I mean, we start getting into ground beef and all that. It's not as good, though, right?
Well,
You want the
there
real
are
steak
problems with
processing.
with the food chain, and yeah, ground beef from the grocery store, potentially very sketchy. If you're going to use it, make sure that stuff's cooked completely through. Don't be doing any rare hamburgers from the grocery store. That's just that's playing
Mistake.
that's roulette. That's playing Russian
Yeah, that's true.
because it's all mixed together and you don't know. And you can get something that might help is you can take a roast, which are often very reasonably priced. And I've been buying roasts at BJ's
Hmm.
and a piece of pot roast, which is I spend $30 on it. I can get, you know, three to four large steaks out of it, which is enough for me and Ron together.
Hmm.
And so
Three or
you can
four meals out of it,
price
right?
it. It's fine. Sometimes it's a little, it's not the nicest cut, but you can also take that to the butcher and grind it up, and then you have meat that's come from one cow. That's
Right.
a good idea.
Reducing and minimizing the risk to start with.
Yes. Yes, it definitely minimizes the risk. And when it is all mixed up like that, it's more likely to have something nasty mixed in with it.
Mm.
So, yeah. So,
But I think now, from my standpoint as a diabetic, so I've been talking about this online for a while now, and my attempt to cure myself of diabetes without any kind of Western medicine help. I'm pleased to say I don't think I'm cured by any means, but March 15th was the last day that I experienced what those who have been following me know is the gauntlet,
okay.
which puts me under like completely, like no
Uh-huh.
work, no nothing, like in bed, head down. You know,
Hmm.
and I'll just review. It's a combination of I think four things now. I've made it four. First one is shortness of breath,
Hmm.
very short, trying to get air. Two is extreme lack of energy.
Hmm.
Just get up to walk across the room, and I feel like I've walked 30 miles, literally. Picking up my head off the bed feels like I've walked 30 miles. Three would be the nausea, which is the worst of the three.
Hmm.
Very nausea, a lot of nausea. We all know how crappy that feels and how throwing up kind of
Mm.
gives you relief. Well, there's no relief there. It just
There's
kind of
no, no.
lingers. And then the fourth one, which I'm adding in, is the mental mind FU that it does. Um, it starts to make me think in ways I've never thought I'd ever think. Like, oh God, just take me now. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, I could just end it now. It's fine.
That sounds
That's
a
how
lot like what I go through with the postural or the static tachycardia thing.
it starts to affect the way I think a little bit.
Mm.
It starts to mess in my head. I don't. That's the most dangerous of the four
Uh-huh.
because that's the one that it make me. It's never like where I act on it, but just I can feel in my head like, oh man, I'm ready. This.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't want to
not
live
your
like this.
usual mode of
I'm ready to
operation.
check out, man. I don't want to live like this. Yeah, so that's what it is. And so March 15th was the last time I experienced that, and it's
Hmm.
full. And each time I experience it, of course, I have a little mini come to Jesus talk with myself where, oh, I'm going to eat better and better. I can't let this happen again. I'm never going to do anything but drink water again for the rest of my life. And then it lasts a day or two and I start, oh, yeah, that burger looks good. I start to deviate or whatever. And, originally I was, I learned in a book, and I know you don't 100% agree with this, but I think that eating a diet of nothing but all raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts and nothing more will eventually cure you of diabetes. So I've been working on that for 10 years now, and I've never quite been able to do that willpower wise. I've had some success with it over the years, but unfortunately, I did a lot of damaging things to myself in the years 2021, 2022, 2023 by just continuing to drink iced tea and orange juice in large quantities, even soda, just dumb, real dumb. But I've kicked that habit, and I've been working towards something that what I consider to be not quite all raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts, but something just one step short of that, which I would consider to be an all whole foods diet.
Mm.
So that's why I made the distinction before between steak, which is a whole food, and ground beef, which is a processed form of steak, essentially. It makes it not a whole food. So I've been sticking with whole foods, and I'm pleased to say the gauntlet is something that's been haunting me for about 2.5 years, and it really usually occurs every few weeks.
Wow, I didn't
You
realize
know,
that often, Jason.
yeah, it's every 6, 7 weeks or so, I'd say,
Hmm.
on the average.
Hmm.
Um, but right now we're at about 7 weeks right now since
Okay.
the 15th of March, whatever. But
All right.
and so I'm pleased that, and what I've noted, two things have happened, which is this is the important part of it. Usually when the gauntlet hits me, it hits me, and that's it. Like here it comes, I see it coming. Here it comes. I'm down for the count. That's it. But twice now in the last, and I've had him 2 consecutive weeks on a couple of occasions.
Hmm.
This I've noticed twice now, so in the last 6 weeks, I feel like it tried to come get me again and wasn't able to get me all the way,
Mm.
which is wouldn't happen before. Like it was like a black and white thing. Here it
Mm.
is, boom, or I'm okay. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
any. I feel like twice in the last 6 weeks. I woke up in the morning. I was like, uh oh. I felt
Hmm.
like it was trying to get me, and I felt
Hmm.
it coming on, but somehow it didn't quite get there.
Okay.
It wasn't able to get me all the way.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm winning
All right.
against the gauntlet. Now I don't want to speak prematurely because again, it's only been 6 weeks. We're right at
Well,
the
knock on wood
average.
for you.
I'm not. Yes,
Oh
thank you. I'll do that myself.
yeah.
But as we get past the 6 weeks, and if I can get to like 3 or 4 months and without it, I feel like I'm beating it. And
Hmm.
I'm doing it by I've actually really, really done well. And it's not just a coincidence. Over the
Hmm.
last 6 weeks, I've I've increased my percentage of whole foods intake from
Hmm.
about 65 or 70% to I would say 95% now.
Okay.
Almost everything I'm eating is whole foods now.
Okay.
And I think that might be helping me. And I've also
And
managed to
well,
keep my
anything that
drinks as
gets you
water.
off the processed anything is going to be beneficial,
Right.
and
I'm staying
you
away
can
from the
always
little frozen
refine it
stuff.
later.
Little frozen Stouffer's macaroni and cheese dinners. I'm not eating those anymore.
Good.
And that kind of stuff's really helping me. It's really almost 100% now. I'd say very little. You
Okay.
know, that's not. And another thing is what you drink. I think is something that people don't talk about
Oh
enough.
yeah, that is
We
important.
all talk
That
about what
is
we eat,
important.
what we eat, what we drink. Really means I think almost as much probably because
Mm.
it's drink that you're flooding into your mouth all day long.
Yeah.
Most of us sit down to a meal 2 or 3 times a day,
Hmm.
but drinks are something we're constantly throwing into our
Yeah.
system. And so
Yeah.
one adjustment I made was it's about 2 years ago that I was able to stop drinking the pure, sugary drinks and help myself that way. But I was
Yeah.
copping out by watering it down, by watering water down with stuff. Now I've got that limited. So in the morning, I put an inch worth of either grape juice, orange juice, or apple juice in here, and I fill the rest with water. And then the rest of the day, you can see right through the glass.
Hmm.
Pure water. That, I believe, may be the little intangible
It's
that's
big. Yeah,
helped the
that's
gauntlet
actually
at
big.
bay.
Yeah, that is
So
big.
I hope the trend continues. I was really happy that first time when it happened, I felt like, oh no, here, because I was like, I'm trained mentally. I'm like,
Mhm.
here comes the gauntlet. Oh no. I'm like, took a couple deep breaths, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my God, it's not gonna get me this time. I was like, I was literally celebrating. I was like, you didn't get me. You knocked on my door, and I didn't let you in this time, boy. Just like the Postman. Remember the movie The Postman? With
Yeah, vaguely.
That's a
Yeah,
great movie. Her and I watched it last weekend again. I hadn't seen it in like a long time, and I realized what a great movie it really is. The
yeah.
Postman.
I
It's
read the book,
it's the
so
best Kevin Costner movie of all the Kevin. My opinion
hmm,
is the best Kevin Costner movie.
okay.
Even though everyone would say
I
Dances with Wolves.
which is really funny because I watch science fiction, so somehow I missed that one. But I read the book,
Oh
so
yeah, it's a cool movie. Tom Petty
because the
makes it.
book is by one of my favorite science fiction
Oh, you
authors.
should check out the movie for sure. Tom Petty does a cameo in it.
Oh, okay, okay,
It's a really cool movie.
all right.
And it is my favorite Kevin Costner. I'm not a big Kevin Costner guy, but like everyone thinks Dances with Wolves, and no,
Right.
that's Postman. That's the one. So, but with Maha though, I think well in Connecticut, right? It's about the food supply. It's really
Yeah.
about the food supply, and it's about the
Yes.
promotion of
Yeah.
what's good to eat. You know,
Yeah.
I really believe I'm not somebody that
I mean, didn't I think that, it's like there's this whole like let's feed the kids, let's give free meals to the kids in school. But what are they giving the kids in school? And it's like it's prepackaged crap.
yeah, with very little
Oh.
nutritional value to it. That's the thing
Yeah.
about
Yeah. I mean, it's like why are you handing out free poison? This is
they
not
don't care.
beneficial. And it is not actually better than doing without. It's like, oh, it's well better than nothing. I don't
No,
think it
you're better.
actually is. And here's the, it's like, well, I'm not going to get into that, but there is this whole why are they not being fed at home question, and that we can get very spread out with that question, but
Yeah, and that's
um
another thing about parents putting down parents. The government will put down parents to try to gain control. I
yeah,
don't think there's too many parents out there starving their kids. I know
I
it
don't think
happens.
so
Okay,
either. Yeah,
it
I don't think
happens,
so
but it's not
either.
a chronic problem.
Yeah, it's not such a chronic problem that this should be passed off on school systems.
Yeah, the entire population has
And
to
yeah, so we
deal with it.
shouldn't all be paying for this. Parents should be motivated to take care of their kids, and if they're not, that's when you actually take them away.
Yes. Or how about if DCF was a little more focused on, childhood health and safety and well-being like they're supposed to be, instead of
Mm,
on indoctrinating children into transgenderism? Maybe
yeah,
we'd be better off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for
Yeah,
nothing.
the way
So,
and that's something that Court and I talked about recently too.
mhm.
Basically, this vaccine thing. It has to do with MAHA. This has to do with MAHA
It
when you're
does have to do with
vaccinating
MAHA
people,
because yeah,
especially
because Lamont just signed that
that
vaccine
bill.
into law,
Hmm.
and they've got this huge pile of COVID vaccines that they would like to get used up. And please remember that the largest employer in the state is the state.
Hmm.
So they can mandate those vaccines for anybody who works for the government. And then, anybody, I'm sure that,
They got to tie it to
employers
license
that are right on
renewals.
board with this, like, oh, for example, maybe Pfizer, who makes that vaccine, might be inclined to mandate that for their employees. Because this is something that individuals like us, they can mandate that stuff. They can say, oh, every citizen in Connecticut. They're not going to do that. They're not going to go in and say, well, everybody. They can at this point. They could just change the rules because now there's one person who gets to say whether everybody in Connecticut is supposed to be taking a vaccine because it's like one person.
Yeah, it's a dictatorial thing all done being
It's a very
administratively
dictatorial
now.
thing.
No
And
more,
there's
no,
we
no
haven't
more.
we haven't really gone into the actual problem with these with the MMR platform itself. But that was,
Right,
it is experimental, and we were experimented on. And I know how long it takes to approve a medication, and it usually in the United States, it typically takes 10 years, which is longer than it takes in Europe. In Europe,
right,
it's more like, 3 to 5.
right.
And I'm like, how can you take a medicine? And because it's something you're injecting into your body, and this is why I didn't take the vaccine. And I shouldn't even call it a vaccine because it's not a vaccine the way traditional vaccines are, let
No,
alone any problems that we might be looking at with that, which again, not going to get into that. Um, but there wasn't enough time to see what the problems were going to be. And I
right
was,
with the long-term problems, right?
yeah, Yeah, and that's like that takes 10, that can take a decade. How do I know what this is? And I know
Right.
it's like let's look at thalidomide, for example. Oh, that was fine. And that was the whole I don't know how fast that thing was approved, but that wasn't, that didn't even claim to be a vaccine. And it had been on the market for a while. I think they were using it off label. Um, so it hadn't been checked as a nausea drug for pregnant women. Um,
So not only are they trying to force this down our throats, but what they're trying to force down our throats may not be safe.
exactly.
And that's a double
Exactly.
whammy, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
that's something that people should be out protesting. I mean,
Yeah.
like, look, it's
Yeah.
unconstitutional. I know there's going to be a ton of lawsuits filed about it,
There
but
are.
I feel lucky that I'm self-employed. They won't be able
Mhm.
to force me to do anything, at least, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's like,
I'm hearing stories that once they get, like, they're trying to take, here's another thing that we're very concerned about. They want to take our information. Like if you go to the doctor's office, you have your medical information, and you go over to here, you
they're
have your
already doing
education.
that.
They
Yeah.
are doing it already. They're putting it into one database, so they're
Yeah.
going to know everything about you at the touch of a keystroke.
Hmm.
And then they're going to start trying to tie, not to try to get people like us that aren't, working at
Yeah.
Pfizer or for the government. They're going to try to start mandating these things. If you want, say, a professional license renewed or your
Right.
driver's license renewed,
Yes.
even.
Yes. Yeah. That is
That's
very,
where they're
very
going here. And
This
so
is like
people
this is
realize,
like we're aiming for digital ID here, and that's what they
yeah,
would like. They want.
this vaccine is hurting people.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So it's a line in the sand issue for me. I won't obey that.
Yeah, me too.
I will not obey that. And if there's a lawsuit about it, I'll put my name on it. Because this is truly draconian stuff. This is stuff out of science fiction,
It is. It
and
is.
I don't think people get it.
Yeah. I mean,
And
a lot of people have read 1984, but how we, how you get to 1984, we're watching that in motion.
right, they should do a prequel to 1984. Call
Hmm.
it 1983,
Yeah. Well, maybe 82.
maybe
It might
82. Yeah,
take
it
a
takes
little
a
while.
couple years to set
Yeah.
into
So
tyranny.
yeah, but so the fact that people are objecting to this is good.
Hmm.
But it's I was having a nice conversation with one of my mom's caregivers today, and this stuff isn't on the radar for the average person. It's
No, that's the problem. Or
they
if
have
it is
no
on the, or if it
or
there
they
may be
think you're crazy if you talk about, oh, conspiracy theory. It's like, no, it's
right.
actually not.
Or if they're aware of, they may be aware of the issue, but they don't. It's way underplayed, so they think, yeah, there's some things that aren't that great, but most part is fine.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like the voter fraud thing. Yeah, of course. Like John Thune, the moron, will say, or people in Connecticut I've heard say, well, of course there's some voter fraud, but they think of it as an isolated thing. Yeah, a
Right.
couple
They
votes here
don't
or there we
actually
might
have
lose.
any idea
They
what
don't
the
look at it
legal
as
percentage that is allowed. And it's like it's 0.01%. It's very
yeah. We're up to like 20% here with
14%.
200,000.
It's
14%
14%
with
error rate.
200,000 more votes than registered voters. I mean, that kind of,
243,700 and change.
I knew you'd have it down. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, so I think it's not a situation where people aren't aware. Yeah, a lot of, or same with MAHA.
Mm.
When I confront people with MAHA, they'll say, yeah, great. It was great what you're doing, MAHA, great. But they look at it as an isolated problem. We'll just stay away from the junk food then. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't realize that even red peppers,
Mm.
even a nice fresh red pepper on the grocery store shelf has been engineered with chemicals to make it look colorful, make it big
Yeah.
and bulky, and
Yeah.
it may have very little of the vitamins that are only
Yeah.
a fraction of the vitamins you'd expect to be in a red pepper
Mhm.
in that red pepper.
Right.
So
So
that's
I
why
have my MAHA thing too, I want to share.
do
So
it. Show us.
so one of the things I have been doing is I've been fasting monthly.
That's
I know
good.
you did that recently.
Yeah, I did a
I
100-hour one.
just I just finished a 40-hour fast the other
Great.
day.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one.
That's enough to get things start to clean things out, a little bit. And
Yeah.
fasting is good
In
for you. We talked about
yeah.
it's better to
In
not.
72 hours, your whole immune system can be replaced in a
Mhm.
72-hour fast.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And that's
So,
actually one of the mentalities I use when I'm trying to will myself into eating better, or when I'm about to eat something that's not so great. I say to myself, like you mentioned earlier, I'm better off not eating at all right now, than eating this.
yeah.
You
We're
just,
afraid of being hungry. And it's like, you know what? Our
That's
ancestors
what
were
gets
not
me.
eating 3 meals a day. They were
No,
not.
no, they were not. And that's what gets me. That's what gets me every time. Oh,
Mm.
I'm hungry. I gotta eat something. That's when the whole eating healthy thing kind of goes out the window. I just go see what's in the refrigerator, and
And
you know, and
some of
that's where
that
that five
is
percent.
blood sugar instability is like what because I had major blood sugar issues when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And doing is I pretty much do keto. I'm doing a lot of carnivore, a lot of eggs right now. But I do dairy too. And I tried I tried to go into a ketogenic diet too quickly and it was horrible. I felt
Mm-hmm.
horrible. Oh my God. I had to ease
Oh,
into it.
yeah,
I had to slowly get first. I got rid of all the grains and I was just eating, I was just eating starchy vegetables. And then I slowly had to taper those off. And obviously the sugar, I haven't been on sugar like I did sugar 25 years ago, which I'm not saying I'm completely, straight up. But this means that once in a while, my husband and I'll go out to dinner and we can split some cheesecake. And
yeah.
that's that's my sugar consumption. And
Right for the week, probably.
it's like, most people, if you're eating something every day, it is not a treat. It's a staple.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So, yeah,
Lately,
so
that's been rice.
40
I've been
hour
eating a lot of
fast.
rice.
I'm feeling pretty good about that. And
It's great.
yeah, so
I'm
helping.
eating a lot of. I'm eating a lot of stir fry.
Stir fry's good.
Yeah, rice and fresh vegetables cooked lightly, just enough
Mhm.
so you can eat them without the crunch, too much of the crunch, you know.
Mhm.
And that's really been helping me. And so I would say right now the staple for me is rice lately, whole grain rice, not
Yeah.
white rice. I don't do white rice, so
I can't do rice. It plays with my blood sugar too much.
oh wow.
Yeah,
I don't ever check my blood sugar. I never do. I never do.
oh, I
I
can
haven't
feel
checked.
it. Oh, I
I
feel
know
it.
that's how right, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't might not know the number, but I know. Oh, it's
Right.
up now, or you know.
Mm.
And I've experienced low blood sugar a couple of times. I know what that feels like too. It's very similar, but it's more
Mm.
of a lightheadedness to it.
Yeah.
And that's trouble. That's more dangerous than too much sugar. Actually, it's more
Mm.
dangerous for your body to be have zero sugar than to have too much.
If your body doesn't know how to flip into ketosis, which was my problem when I was trying to do it too fast. You kind of got to train that. It doesn't, it doesn't just because you stop eating sugar doesn't mean that your body knows what the heck to do. And there's all sorts of other things that turn into it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
is it
it can be a process.
most starchy foods turn into sugar, right? If you eat like
Yeah,
white bread or even rice,
all starchy foods turn into sugars.
yeah.
All of
So
them.
that's something people don't real. A lot of people don't know when they're
Mm.
thinking they're not eating sugar when they really
Yeah,
if they're eating a, you know.
yeah.
So when I eat sandwich, I don't eat grinders anymore so much. I'll take the stuff in the grinder,
Yeah, my husband's been doing
or
that
I'll
too.
take the top off the grinder, or eat the bottom half with the food.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah, my
I do
husband
that.
does that too. So
Yeah,
it works.
and actually like it better that way. Actually,
Well,
so
you're getting more stuff. A little can be a little messier, but then so can a regular sandwich. So whatever.
that's all right. Yeah, so kind of regular sandwich. If you ever had a sloppy Joe before, then you know
Oh, good God. Do people still eat those?
they do sleep those. I had one as last year once even. I still
Okay.
think they're great, but I
I
won't eat
don't
them
think I've
anymore.
had any of I hated those things.
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, they're pretty nasty. I mean, their kids love them though. The man witch.
I'm like, yeah, they had them in, it was part of our grade school menu. I was like, oh, gross.
It's like the spam of beef. It's like for ham we got spam, and for beef we got manwiches.
Yeah, you know what? I will take spam any day of the week over a sloppy Joe.
Yeah, I
So
used to like them. I probably would still like one, but I won't eat them anymore. I can't. Too nasty.
spam
We
is
made them
not
rush you.
terrible.
What is
Believe it or
not?
not, spam is not actually terrible. It's
Oh,
one of
it's not.
yeah, it's not actually spam is not actually terrible. It's speaking of, we were talking about is like not terrible emergency food.
Is spam a European thing?
No, no,
Oh, it's
it's
American, huh?
American. Yeah, it's American. So it's pork. I actually when I was looking at stuff to, put aside, I actually picked corned beef over the spam, but I actually think I've got some spam. Fried spam is not bad.
I've had it.
No.
It's not. It's isn't it ham though? It's not pork, is it? Or I guess it's both.
Um,
It's
ham
not.
is pork, sweetie.
Well, yes, but so ham is pork. Well, because okay, wait a minute now. Pork, does this pork mean it's from a pig? That's it. So bacon
Correct.
is pork as well.
Yes.
Okay, but pork is just so. What makes pork pork? like pork chops.
Okay, so here's the difference. So a pig is not a ruminant. When you have a cow or a sheep or goat, they have multiple stomachs. They are built to they eat grass or leaves or whatever, and they take all that we can't
Hopefully.
digest at all, and they turn it into something we can consume, whether that's milk or, meat. A
Ah,
pig is an omnivore. Pigs will eat anything, and their fat profile is literally based on what they eat. So if they are eating garbage, then their fat profile is going to be no better than eating seed oils.
uh,
So that's,
if they're eating
which is
well, then
which is
there's going to be a
tragic,
thicker.
which is
So there's a
tragic.
lot more at stake when you eat a pig than when you eat out of a cow. Though. There's a lot more risk
Was that a
factor there,
pun?
actually.
Because that was a pretty good pun. Did you mean that
What?
pun?
What did
There's
I
a lot
say?
more at stake when you eat a pig.
No, I walked into that one. I like it. There's a lot less at stake. There...
So yeah, and pork production in the United States is it's largely grain fed, and they don't, what they're eating isn't
Right.
great.
So
Uh,
this is why Jewish people won't eat pork. Basically, it's
um,
not kosher in
no,
their mind. It's
well,
more a religious thing, but that
it's
may
a
be what's
religious
behind.
thing. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
religious
religious
thing,
thing.
but what's behind that ancient religious doctrine? Maybe there was some
Well,
old MAHA wisdom behind some of that stuff.
well, my husband thinks so because he's
Yeah, I think
Jewish.
so.
And he maintains that, and I know other people who think this too, is that, in the desert, pigs do not do well, just for starters. This is not the environment that pigs are happy in. Pigs want to be in forest land,
Hmm.
but also pigs are
Like
much more
wild
prone to
boars.
parasites. So yeah, pork is much more, and it's harder to digest. It's literally harder to digest than beef. Lamb is the easiest to digest. Then
Rocco lamb
after
is a
that
good
is,
dinner.
yeah, oh, I love lamb.
Yeah, I love Rocco
And
lamb.
then after that is, I think it's chicken and then beef, or no, beef and then chicken and then pork. Pork is the hardest meat, most difficult meat to digest.
Hmm.
And don't ask me about like alligator or anything. I have no idea.
Oh, I wouldn't
I
know.
have no
I
idea.
know that we went to when we were in Florida a few years ago. We were trying to get alligator meat to eat. We wanted to check it out, see what it's all about.
I'm told
And
it's tasty.
it was well. They don't serve it really, other than for the most part. I think there are some restaurants that do serve it like as a steak,
Okay.
but most places we went to like three or four different, and they just fry it up. They make alligator balls and it's like fried, and it's got the brown crap around it, and that's
Okay.
not what we were looking for. We finally found a guy.
So what it actually tastes like.
Right, I want to actually taste the alligator meat. So I told the guy, "Can you just give us a piece that's actually grilled?"
Mhm.
And they did. The guy was nice. He's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, we'll grill up a little bit for you." And we just had a little piece about this big, and it was delicious actually.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
there's a slightly different taste
somebody
to
else
it.
was just talking to me about that. I don't know why.
Well, you know how like obviously a cow is a land animal, fish would be a sea animal, and you're eating one or the other. But I felt like I was eating a little of both.
Okay.
Like I was almost eating a cross between a fish and a steak when I ate it. It was really good actually. I'm
Okay.
surprised they don't make it more. I mean, we do have. Do you realize how many croc alligators there are in Florida?
Lots,
There's probably more than there are people.
lots, lots
So
and
they could make
lots.
a good thing out of alligator. I'm surprised alligator meat isn't more of a
Mhm.
thing. I mean, it tastes great, and I don't know how.
Well,
I
they
don't.
should be eating the snakes because the snakes are invasive. So I think that's actually become a thing. I think they're because it's pythons and anacondas because it's some dumb dimwit, just was like, oh, they'd be happy in the Everglades. And of course, they're, eating everything in sight, including the alligators. If you can
Hmm.
believe it. Anaconda will eat an alligator. It's like, oh, that's great. That's great.
A snake eating an alligator
I kid you not.
could not have been that big of an alligator.
Well, I don't know how big the alligator, but snakes are huge. Have you seen these things? Like, oh my God, they're
Yeah,
crazy big.
I
But
know.
yeah,
I
and
know.
yeah, it might
I
not
know
have been a
Melissa
huge
loves
alligator,
snakes.
but it wasn't a baby one either. Um,
I know Melissa loves snakes. She's over there just getting all excited right now hearing about snakes. You can hear her
well,
moaning and
you
groaning over
probably don't
there.
want this kind.
She
And
should have married Indiana Jones instead of me because Indiana Jones and her both hate snakes equally. Scared to death of the things. Even the garter snakes outside scare her.
oh, I love
So
I love my little garter snakes. I
Yeah, I
think,
don't mind
yeah,
snakes.
I'm good with snakes. I like snakes,
I don't
but
have a problem with snakes.
yeah,
You know what bothers? You know what scared
but
me the
not
most?
snakes that
Spiders.
weigh outweigh me. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen too many of those. But I used to swim in the reservoir in Vernon. There's a reservoir in Vernon. We used to, when we were kids, we used to, there was a rope swing. We used to jump in all the time. And people would say, don't go in there, snakes in there. And we didn't care. We weren't worried about it.
Gen
Snakes are
X.
scared of us too. They're going to attack you in the water. It's silly.
Come on, this is Jason. We're Gen X. Neglect
Yeah,
hose water or hose water. So,
you're darn
um,
right about that. But you know what scares me? The one animal of all kinds that scare me more than anyone. You know what that is?
a bear,
Spiders. Spiders.
spiders. Oh, I like spiders.
Spiders terrify me. And let me
That's
tell you
very
why.
visceral. I with me, it's the scorpions. Yeah.
I'm fine with the spiders as long as I can see them.
Okay.
If I have one
I
across the road, I
probably
would
would
probably. Oh,
feel, I might feel differently if we lived in Australia because you have the dinner plate sized ones. I can't
yeah,
remember.
well,
Corn
yeah.
spiders, I think. Uh,
They have wood spiders here that are not quite that big. They're pretty big.
yeah.
I've seen them here in Hampton. When I had a house in Hampton, I had one in my shower one morning when I
Oh,
went to the
yeah,
shower.
the orb weavers.
My head
Yeah,
hit
they're
the
amazing.
ceiling. They're thin, but they're not like tarantulas. They're thin, but they're big like this.
Mhm. Yep.
And what scares me about spiders is the fact that I could go to bed one night and be sleeping like a baby and having sweet dreams and wake up in the morning with three legs because some spider came and bit my ass in the middle of the night, and now I have itis or something, and I'm in pain and I'm in the hospital. Like, and I never. What could I do to defend myself? I was sleeping. That's what scares me. That's why spiders are the animal I fear the most. I fear spiders more than I fear lions. I feel like if I saw a lion, I could run like hell and get in one of those safari trucks and get the hell out of there, maybe. But a spider, even if the lion bites me and kills me, at least I see him coming. At least I was the one I can blame myself. I'm stupid enough to be out in the safari with a damn lion, you know. But what can I blame myself when I'm just going to bed at night? That's what's for. I don't like spiders, man, for that reason. So
All right. Speaking of scary things, apparently, yeah, apparently debate is scary to a couple of people in Connecticut. We've had some.
yes, yes, yes. So it was right here on this show with Betsy McCoy
Yep,
just 2 weeks ago. Was it just last? Was it just last
it
Thursday?
was
Was it
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We had Betsy on here, and we were talking about the concept of debating and why isn't there a debate before people
For the
vote
convention,
for the
before the
convention?
convention, where
Before the
the
convention,
delegates have, the convention is where the delegates from each town have to vote on which gubernatorial candidate they think is best. And
and
if,
then
if somebody doesn't, you can, if the vote is sufficiently split, then we get to have a primary.
mhm,
And apparently primaries are scary for some people. So,
mhm,
but how do as a delegate, how do you know who to vote for? And, given how much confidence we don't have in the Connecticut GOP for reasons of their actual performance from the top down. We're not talking about the grassroots here or anybody who's, in an RTC that's actually, say, representing the Republicans in their town. Um, I this is, the for the top-down performance from the CTGOP is unimpressive.
at
But they're
least,
still perfectly happy to send down dictates about, who should run and who they think is a good idea and why. And I don't know why anyone listens to them because their record stinks.
yeah. And they self-appointed someone, and that person goes right to the top, and the vote doesn't even happen. Really, there's no debate. There's no
Yeah.
opportunity to voters to vet it out and make the decision for themselves. So that's what happens in a democracy. So in other
Yeah.
words, our Republican Party in Connecticut right now is really not being run democratically. It's being run
Well,
systematically.
yeah, well, they are, and this is a larger problem. And I talked about this a little bit with Jay on, we didn't get to it until kind of the end of the podcast, is that both parties, both representative parties, the Democrat and the Republican Party, and in theory, any other party, the problem is that are they representing us? because they're supposed to be representing, like the Democrats are supposed to be representing the interest of the average person who feels that they're a little bit more on the left.
Right.
This is not what has happened. The main Democrat Party appointed, I'm going to go back a few years, but they appointed Hillary. Bernie was supposed to be, he was incredibly popular. They could have had a primary. They decided they weren't going to have a primary and they appointed Hillary. Somebody took that thing to the Supreme Court. I don't remember the deal was, but the Supreme Court said, nope, they're a corporation. They do not have to obey their bylaws.
That's right.
The Republican Party is not different.
Hmm.
So, what
In other
is,
words, we have no recourse to the party. The party can do whatever it wants. It can
yeah.
nominate kill Gorbachev if it wanted to, and there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, there really, there isn't. And we had that nice interview with Todd a few weeks back, and he talked about what they did in the Virgin Islands.
Hmm.
And they can talk about it, but technically there's not much they can actually do about it.
Right.
So it's like, so how do you, even if we get in there to change the rules, it's like, I think there needs to be bigger systemic changes. So this is just me talking. I don't
Just
know
the way,
exactly.
well, just the way political parties are structured
It
needs to
is,
change.
yeah, this is a problem. And wasn't it George Washington who like was not optimistic about the idea of political parties?
George Washington, brilliant man, for all his stout stature physically and strategically, militarily, he's just as smart as he was physically strong. And he saw the writing on the wall initially as he was president.
Hmm.
He saw the political parties forming right off the bat, and he warned us very much against that. In his closing address, his farewell address, he
Interesting.
warned the country against the formation of systematic political parties, and how
And
it could
it's
tear us
interesting
apart
because
someday.
I don't know if the structure is different now than it was back then. And if we don't, and here's the thing, we need a way to band together. And right now this is kind of what we've got. So you gotta work in a bad system because creating something new takes a really long time. You have to convince all sorts of people that joining your party is a really good idea. And
Mm,
then they have to financially support it. And not everybody's ready to do that, even if they're willing to offer their time. And you have to offer their time. And then they have to get your
right,
candidate on the ballot. And that takes a really long time.
right.
What it
It's
is to
difficult.
build things.
You know
So
what the biggest obstacle we're facing is human nature, really.
ding, ding, ding.
Because
You're
even if we
right.
were, and
I
which
don't want that.
we can't beat that. It is what it is. We have to work with it as best we can,
And
and
so each of us has to do what we can do.
which is why I'm not. Even though a lot of people clamor for a third party, because we have this problem with the Democrats being Marxist, we have this problem with the right Republican Party being infiltrated by rhinos, and there's us, then there's the people. What do we do? Well, a lot of people say let's form a third party. Problem with that is again human nature, because what will happen is, first of all, like you said, it'd be very difficult to convince enough people to come over to the new party to do something new to
Yeah.
create a political front of for the
People don't want
people
to
that
think
is
about new
necessary.
stuff.
The problem with it is we let's say we form a new party. I always had this idea, let's form a new party called the Constitution Party
Hmm.
or the American Party, right? Let's say
Right.
we're successful. We form this great American Party that more and more people are joining it, and we're threatening the Republicans and the Democrats. It's wonderful, but guess what happens because of human nature? Guess what happens at the top of our new American
Who's
Party?
funding it? The big,
Who's well, not just who's funding it, but a
Mhm.
clique's going to develop within that third party as well.
Yeah.
That in time will corrupt that party.
Yeah.
So
So, we got to figure out how to,
the only way I think is to overwhelm the Republican Party with with fair-minded, good-thinking conservatives, and that's not any easier than anything else.
no.
That's why
It's just
people
that it would take less time than building a new party.
it would take less time,
Yeah.
but
You
it's no
only have
less
one
difficult.
argument to make. You're just trying to invite people to be involved, as opposed to convincing them to be involved and join a new party.
And you have to create enough of a right. It's one step
And fund the
less.
new party. Yeah. So,
And fund the new party. It's one step less because there's already a funding mechanism in place for the Republican Party. It's
right.
about taking it over
Yeah.
and overwhelming the. It's not. This is the thing. We had such a hard time getting this. Like, there's so many Republicans that don't even support us having this debate.
Yes.
They just want to annoy Aaron,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like they want to do that, and if they're wantable for Aaron, that's all fine and good. but the people want to see, they want the most information necessary to determine who they want to vote for. Maybe a lot of people haven't decided yet between Aaron and Ryan and Betsy. And maybe seeing the three of them talking with each other would be the way to for them to really engage it. That doesn't
And
sound illogical to me.
it doesn't need to be mean or aggressive,
No,
but asking a question and your opponent being unable to answer it or unable to answer it adequately, that isn't mean. That's
no.
just getting the answer or non-answer to the
It's
question.
just setting it out. It's giving the voters the information they need to make the right decision for themselves, who they want. I mean,
So this is, for me, because I'm a delegate, um, this is about who is going to best represent Republicans in my district, which
hmm
I wish that I would be able to talk to Republicans in my district, but
hmm
I don't know that they're not kind of checked out on all of this. I don't know what they're following. I would love to know what, if there's anyone out there who's in Ansonia who would like to give me some feedback about what you think on the different candidates who are running and who you think I should vote for God's sakes, let me know. I would love to represent you. This would be good.
that would be very good. I'll
I
be
know who
interested.
I personally am preferring right now, and I have my reasons for that. But if I watched, at least if I got to see a debate, I would have a better idea of where people stand. Because, I have one candidate that answers every question I've put out there. There's another candidate that, as far as I know, isn't answering questions. And the third one, I'm really not clear about that either. So, it's like, okay, one of them's got like what seems like good ideas, but if there's really no way for me to ask them questions because if they're hardly ever post things like post on X once in a while.
hmm
So, and I was like, I'm not on Facebook. If someone's answering questions on Facebook, I don't know about that.
Right.
It's like,
No, it should be in a public forum where everybody can watch it or
yeah,
be there or watch it. I mean,
absolutely.
it's
Yep.
kind of a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, seems like. So
I
this,
think, but I think that I think the people don't understand the comparison that I make when I say that on the national level we debate and then we have the convention.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I'd like to know what other states do, what
mm,
other blue states do, or what other red states do.
yeah, I think
I would have to think that most of them are having their debates before they vote. That's kind of like the way you do it
for the delegates vote, not before
before
the
the delegates vote. Right, not right.
delegates at convention, delegates, primary, main election.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's really been my only, like I've said, there are people criticizing me for coming down hard on Aaron or whatnot for not showing up to the debate or being at the debate. But that's the limit of my criticism right now, right?
We want to
Where
know what
she's,
our policies are.
yeah, I don't really know. Well, she talks about them in general terms,
Yeah,
but
there
nothing,
hasn't been much. And again, she's not on X. If she's
not
talking
on
about it
X.
on Facebook,
You're not going to
and it
see
is
it.
very general. I mean, I've seen some of her commercials because
Mhm.
that I've actually seen because they're on YouTube, so that's
Yeah,
cool.
this is not a put down of Aaron.
No,
It's not
not at all.
like I said before. I even told one of her contacts. I even said, "Look, if she comes in debates and puts out a good plan, then I'll vote for her."
Mm-hmm.
No, this isn't about like
Right?
we're not anti-Aaron.
No, no.
We're all. Um, she has to. If you want to be the leader of the state,
You got to show up.
you want to be one of the 50 governors in this country leading that. That's a incredibly.
Mm-hmm.
That's an amazingly high position to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to answer. You should stand up, and put yourself in front of the public before
Yeah.
any votes take place on that. You know, so that's really the extent of my criticism. I like Erin, and she seems like a good person, and maybe she is the right person for governor. She could very well be the right person to be governor,
Right.
but we don't know. That's the point, you
Yeah.
know.
And my frustration with the party making a decision about who they want to run because this is the person who has the best chance of winning. There is no record that the party as it exists right now in Connecticut, that the people running the party as it exists right now,
Can win anything.
there's no evidence that they actually know who could win in Connecticut because they keep saying this person is the person we want, and they keep losing.
Yeah, the evidence is to the contrary. The evidence is that
Yeah,
they're
the
putting the
evidence.
losing candidates one after the other. The only question is, are they doing it deliberately or not?
Yeah, ain't that the question?
So, given all that, it's a mathematical no-brainer, is it not? I mean, look, I told that it is the Connecticut Republican Assembly and Common Sense News Entertainment co-sponsoring this debate.
Which will
So,
be on May 8th at 7 o'clock, and it will be broadcast. It's going to be live
yes,
streamed. It is intended for the delegates because it's a small venue.
yeah, yeah. Don't go to the venue. It's in Berlin, but don't
Oh,
go.
we're gonna live stream it, and I've been putting the we've got somebody who's definitely going to be live streaming. There's
Yep.
probably going to be some other folks too. Hopefully, it's going to be broadcast, but it will be live streamed in its entirely by Agnes, who has
Yep.
also been on the podcast.
And right here on Common Sense News Entertainment as well.
Yes.
And
Yep.
not only that, but we're looking at Channel 8 and Channel 12 as possible. That Channel 12, I'm working on it.
Okay.
They may cover it live.
That would be cool.
It would be
Although
very
I
cool.
still wouldn't expect them to um, do the whole thing. I wouldn't expect it just because.
Well, if you're gonna broadcast it, you're gonna
Well,
broadcast it, or you're not.
that's
You're not gonna stop in the middle.
ideal. I
Yeah, I don't
that's
think they
I
will. There's talk that they might, but it's an hour and a half, so they're not going to preempt an hour and a half worth of programming.
no,
Probably not.
no, I don't see.
If they could, what they could do is tape it all and then put it on
Hmm.
as a recorded half an hour thing, maybe
Yeah.
like an actual show. Like I told him, just get rid of Jeopardy for one night. I like that show, but you
Hmm.
can get rid of it for one night and play a debate.
Right.
So media coverage will be. And here's another thing that's kind of exciting. There's a guy who his name is Brock Devagnon.
Hmm.
Brock Devagnon, his name is, and he was Ross Perot's campaign manager
Hmm.
years ago, and I've connected with him. He claims that he was a pretty well-known guy back in the '90s in
Hmm.
terms of political consultantship and whatnot. He's the guy that put Ross Perot on the map. He's interested in what we're doing.
Cool.
Wants to do it. Put the debate on an app called the Voter app,
Okay.
which anyone in the country or in the world for that matter can click on and view it live. It'll be covered live on
Neato.
that app,
Neato.
which is cool. He claims there's millions of people that have this app. I don't know if millions or not. That's what he says. Maybe, but if you have a million with the app, how many are going to click it on? Probably not a million, but he's got over 200. We're talking about 6 or 8 social media sites. Apparently, he has links to over 200 different
Wow.
social media and regular websites that
100.
streamline this stuff. Yeah, he wants to do it, make a big deal out of it
I'm
nationally.
sure he's talking other, yeah, elsewhere, all over.
Yeah, he wants to make a big deal out of it nationally because we have succeeded here in Connecticut in breaking the mold. This isn't the first, like the last gubernatorial election we had. There was no debate before the convention. They did the same crap they do now. We broke that fold. We broke it. Now we're having a debate, and so that is, to me, I think that's attracting some national. This guy Brock apparently feels like it can that alone can attract national
Well,
attention.
we
So
we certainly Connecticut has we have some people in our who are representing us in Congress. I put that in air quotes for those who are
yeah,
just
big
listening.
air quotes on that one.
Big, big, big air quotes, and again, while in 40% of people voted for Trump in the last election, there is no Republican representation for any New England state in Congress.
No, but that Supreme Court ruling that just came out recently might help us in that regard.
That it might,
We'll
but
see.
we've had some representatives and senators who are running off at the mouth and not making, and let's just say we've been getting some national attention.
Yeah,
So
we have, and that's good. We need that.
we do.
We're the deepest blue state in the union, so we do need that attention. And I think that we also have, okay, a little bit. I think that what gets underestimated here, what we have is in Connecticut, I think, is what it's like a high school hallway. No, it is like between classes, a high school hallway. So what we have is, in my opinion, here's what the Republican Party in Connecticut is made up of now, socially and psychologically. And the social aspect of this, we don't talk enough about.
Okay.
All right. The psychological need to feel like you're important or you're fitting in with the clique,
Hmm.
with the cool kids in school.
Okay.
So I'm going to use Marianne Turner as an example.
Okay.
She, in my opinion, is a perfect example of a girl stuck in a high school mentality, clique mentality.
Hmm.
Marianne Turner is the vice chairman of the Republican Party. She's Ben's vice chair.
Okay.
I don't think she's a bad person. I think she wants to help Connecticut and wants people to be free. I don't think she's not, I think she's a patriot.
Hmm.
Yet we look at her as one of our biggest enemies within the Republican Party because
Hmm.
she's Ben's hench girl and she'll do anything to protect Ben and protect what they're doing there, even though it's a losing proposition. She's all for it and she's a hack. Why? Not because she disagrees with us on the issues, because she's trapped in that click, that I want to feel important. Most people want to feel important.
Yeah. Well,
Want to feel like they're
we
making an
have
impact.
plenty of discussion of the country club mentality of the
That's
upper.
what I'm talking about. It's more like
Yep.
it's the same thing. I'm calling it the high school click
Yeah.
mentality,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yep.
Where
Same.
now Marianne Turner, I'm picking her apart psychologically. She feels like she's something doing something important. She's vice chair of the Republican Party. She's
Mm.
got she's second command to Ben. She's doing the yeoman's work. She's important. She's clicking in. She's in the click. She's in the in, and that's where we lose sight of how to fix this. That's really what matters to them. They feel like they're doing. We all feel like that. When I
We're all
myself
susceptible. We're all susceptible to the desire to be liked, the desire to be,
have a
part of
legacy
something
doing something.
important, and if
Mm-hmm.
people tell you what you're doing is really important, you have enough people telling you that, and you're going to be worried. It's like staying
Sure.
humble, man, you got to pray to stay humble. Like
Right. I'm no different than that. When
we're
some of
all
these gatherings we
susceptible.
went to, when I ran for Ben, I mean, that was a big ego pump for me. I'm not going to deny it. I was like, wow, this is great. I'm running for, so I felt like I was doing something important and that felt important to me. And that's okay. It's good to feel that
You
way,
just
but
need to, but you got to counter it.
got to hang around with the right clique though.
Huh? What?
You got to hang around with the right clique. So if you're hanging around with the bully, the school bully,
Mm.
because you think you're because there's this kid that I'll only give his first name. His name was Vinny. We all grew up with him in Vernon. And he was like this dude that would punch you in the face. He's a violent dude. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God.
Yeah, he's a real violent dude, ratty guy, but charming though at the same time. A great
Mm.
personality, and everybody gravitated around this guy, right? Because they
Okay.
mostly out of fear. They didn't want him punching him in the mouth, you know. And
Well, there's
also,
that.
he was
There's that
also,
piece. So I didn't
and he's
mention the
also
fear part.
the fear part. They don't want Ben's wrath, right?
Mhm.
And it's also because of his charm and everything, and people he created this social circle around him that was very popular,
Mm.
even though he was an ass.
Hmm.
And he had all those people that are crowded around him out of fear and out of feeling like, oh, I'm with the clique crowd with the popular people. That's the same problem we have here in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
If we start looking at it like that a little more, it may help us start to peel off some of these people on the fringe. I call there's the people that follow Ben that there's two there's the Kool Aid guzzlers
Hmm.
and the Kool Aid sippers.
Hmm.
The Kool Aid guzzler, like Marianne Turner, is a Kool Aid guzzler,
Hmm.
right? You'll never snap her out of it, but she's there thinking and doing the right thing. The Kool Aid sippers are the people like I think Gino. I consider Gino. We had him. He was a Kool Aid sipper. We got him. We got him on board now with the page like 100% now. Now he knows what's going on what's going on with Ben, right? So then there's the Kool Aid sippers that are just like not really sold on it, but they're sort of like in the middle. Those are the ones that we kind of went over. Look, you're like you come with our clique. Our clique is not only cooler, but we have better ideas that are better for people than your clique does.
Well, yeah,
And our
it's
buffets are
not the
just as
same old,
good.
same old. And
Yeah, and think about how many people who vote based on especially I hate to say it, especially women vote on candidates on how handsome they are, or charming they are, or whether rather date the guy or not.
charm should not be underrated. Charm is a charisma. Charisma
Chart should mean
matters.
it should mean nothing, but it means a lot, and it should not be ignored. Right?
Well, there's a difference between, charm and charisma and actually being able to articulate your ideas.
Yeah,
Um,
or just being good looking. Look at Ryan; he's a good looking
well, there's
dude.
that. There's
Look at a
that.
lot of women voting for him just for that.
Hmm.
So I think we can't underestimate that aspect, and especially when we're dealing with
Hmm.
you
Oh,
know
I do remember when Clinton got into office. There's a statistic about how many women were dreaming about him after he got elected.
Yeah, he could have had a whole army of soccer moms come to the table and go fight for that guy.
Yeah, yeah. There was a statistical, you know, there was a
It's about
statistical. It was noticeable. It's like there was a certain percentage of women that were dreaming about Bill Clinton.
yeah. You could argue he
God bless
got
my
in just because
sex.
of charm. You could argue he
Everything.
got in just because of charm.
Hmm.
You know, and
Yeah, he was well spoken.
he turned out to be a creep at the end of the day,
Yes, he did.
to
Yes,
say
he
the
did.
least. And
Yep.
he's the one that made us all question what the word is. What does the
Yeah.
word is?
Talk
What's the
about
difference of
changing
the word
language.
is?
Oh,
So I mean, I think we can't. And we're trying to solve this problem with getting the Republican Party united and to be a full opposition party. It has to be
mhm.
from the bottom up. We have to eventually
Yes.
overwhelm them. That's why I still feel like going to RTCs in large numbers and starting to become members and start to take over the culture of these RTCs. It would take time. It's not going to happen by November, but
No,
it
it
can
is.
happen over the next 10 years or whatever. So
And here's
put
here's a
together your little.
caveat I want to add here. It's we're gonna have, hopefully, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we will have a new governor in Connecticut. But let's just assume for a moment that a Republican wins the governorship,
Mhm.
which would be great.
That would be great. But
But
it's not the save all, bend all, be all,
it
though.
is, and that's what I want to say. That's not going to be a time for people to go, phew,
We
okay, I'm
win.
done. I'm going back to work now.
No, not at all.
Because first of all, the likelihood that we'll actually if we can getting rid of if we get a Republican governor, we'd be rid of the supermajority. But that doesn't mean that we would actually have a majority in the assembly.
Right?
And
No, we wouldn't.
yeah,
And they
and
would even.
chances are we're not going to get it. I mean, jump in there, please. And if we have a candidate for governor who's exciting, more people are going to be more likely to jump in and run for the assembly for any
Uh-huh.
given assembly seat, and that,
That's good.
please hop in. That will generate some excitement. That would be fantastic. But if we don't actually get a majority in the assembly, which, it's a very short time in order to pull that one off.
Yeah,
No,
hard.
some seats are just not going to flip because that's politics and it takes time to change people's minds. So, you know, the if we get a Republican governor, worst case scenario, that governor is a stop for the tons and tons of bills that the assembly has been
Soviet
throwing at
horrible.
us in the last
The
year.
Marxist agenda. You mean they're throwing at us?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that whole
Well, we
everything,
still need to.
everything,
We
taxes, and
still.
yeah.
We still really want to pick up a couple seats in the House though,
Yes, we definitely
because even
do.
if things stay the same as they are in the House, and then we have a Republican governor, we still have a supermajority we're dealing with. So we
Yeah,
have to get that under the 2/3
yeah.
because they could still technically override a veto.
Right, right. So
You
we need
know,
enough people to override that.
we need at least to pick up 3 or 4 seats
Yeah.
in the House to make sure that can't happen, and then we need the governor. So yeah,
So
we're
just
gonna get one
even
of
if,
two things.
assuming we get a Republican win for governor in the fall, whatever happens with the rest of the assembly, we're still going to have a lot of work to do. This is not going to be a flip Connecticut red in one election cycle.
No,
If it was,
no, it's not gonna happen.
yeah, it's not going to happen. So this is a long-term plan. I am in it to flip Connecticut red, which means it's like 10 years minimum.
It's gonna take time to do it, right?
It's going to
We
take
could
time.
do it. Could happen for 2028. I'm not flipping it, but we could get a lot closer.
Yeah,
Here's the thing: it is a town by town, district by district
it
thing.
is.
And if we get a Republican governor,
Mhm.
we're either going to get Aaron or Ryan, which if we get someone like Aaron or Ryan, we're going to get someone who will
Don't rule
stop
Betsy
the.
out. She might,
Well,
we
I'm
don't
going to
know.
get to her in a second. I'm going to get to her in a second.
Okay.
We get Ryan or Aaron in there, I think we're going to get that's in my opinion. This is like a Mitt Romney,
Mm.
uh, John McCain thing, which they will help stop the spread of Marxism, but I don't see how we're going to push it
And
back at
I'm not
all.
entirely convinced of that either.
No. Now, if
Because
we get Betsy in, I think Betsy's the Donald Trump of the three of them. So if
Mhm.
we get her in there, that's who I really want to see in there. Like I'm not made up my mind completely because I want to be objective, but if she gets in there, then they're gonna demonize the heck out of her.
Oh, no
They're going to
question.
do to her what they did to
No
Trump.
question. Yeah.
They're going to try to get her with hot tubs. I mean, they're going to do everything they can.
Hmm.
to bring her down. They
Yep.
will make her administration very difficult.
Yep.
So the work, like I said, you're right. Getting a Republican in is great, but and if we get Aaron O'Ryan in, that's also good news. But
Yeah.
we have to. The fight just begins. Like,
Yep.
look at far left wingers aren't don't care about elections.
No.
They're not interested. They want to win the elections. They're going to cheat to win, and even if they don't, they're going to continue with their agenda. To push their, um, they want to invalidate your vote if they lose,
Hmm.
and continue with what they want regardless. So elections don't, they don't care about them. We're not going to let an election get in the way of their Marxist agenda. Let's look at it that way.
No. Oh.
So are we there?
I think we're there.
Okay, it's been a good show. Thank you for joining us. We're going to do this again and on Tuesday. We're looking to bring in some interesting guests as well. I'm working on that angle, so let's keep up the good fight. So why don't you take us out, Selena?
All right. God bless Connecticut. God bless America. This is Connecticut Common Sense on the Common Sense News and Entertainment Network. Yay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
God bless
everybody.
America. Bye now.